buddy. What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's up, everybody? It's Calvin Johnson Jr. here, a.k.a. Megatron, a.k.a. First Ballot.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk Ifata Malafanu of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
I love nothing more than watching Lions Talk Live every morning. Woo!
All right, well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and wasn't really planning on doing another video today, and working here on some real estate stuff and ending the stock day. And what do you know? Got a little bit of information from LA outlets coming on out that Matt Stafford might just be that ex-girlfriend that just can't let things die and go away. He might end up being that ex who's a little bit upset that now that they've left, there's a lot of things good happening for the Detroit Lions. So in talking to LA media today, when the Rams returned home, Stafford said that, he's over. Okay, some of the stuff's basic. He said it last night after the game. He's over the whole Jared Goff, Matt Stafford thing, the trade thing, the fans in Detroit booing him, all that stuff. He's beyond that. But what he did say, though, that kind of, I guess, sparked some more interest is that he felt the Lions intentionally wore the blue uniforms to try to confuse him and force him into multiple bad throws that led to one Kirby Joseph interception and 4 other turnover-worthy plays. That's right. He had a total of 5 possible interceptions last night. One of them obviously held on. Brian Branch nearly picked off a couple others. Kirby Joseph nearly got another one, et cetera, et cetera. And Stafford talked to the LA media today. He said he thought his former franchise did that intentionally to try to bait the quarterback, the former Lions quarterback, into multiple bad reads of throws. Unfortunately for Matt Stafford and for the Detroit Lions defense, we only held on to one of them. But the fact that Stafford, obviously, if you watch the video, if you watch his body language in it, he's less than happy talking about playing the Detroit Lions and the fact he lost to the team. Sean McVay did not comment on the topic when asked, but one thing I can say is there is clearly a budding rivalry between Matt Stafford, Sean McVay, the LA Rams, and yes, the Detroit Lions, where once when the trade first went down, we took the team out to LA, played them, and they were very gracious about, hey, the great work that Jared Goff's doing out there in Detroit to change his career. Man, MCDC's doing a great job taking on this downtrodden franchise and all this stuff. All the superlative adjectives they would throw our way if you go back and check out their press clippings and such from back in 2021, the months after the trade when Detroit went to LA. Since then, the tone's changed. And McVay, while being a lot more measured with his commentary, you could clearly tell he's a little miffed over losing to Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, and the Lions once again. And another good game. Both these teams clearly have something to give each other. That's why both these last 2 contests have been so complete, so compelling, so close. But it's also clear to tell that watching Stafford, he is salty as heck. The fact that he has lost to Goff, lost to MCDC, and lost to the Detroit Lions, the fans, and everybody. I'm not sure what to make of this, but I know if you watched NFL Network, ESPN, CBS Sports, or whoever, a lot of them are predicting the Lions and the Rams could potentially face themselves or each other again in the playoffs, and I think they're 100% right. I think when the Rams get everybody on board, they are potentially a threat to the 49ers. I'm not going to say they're going to supplant them in their division, but there is a real possibility these two teams could get another game against each other in the postseason. And I think, Salty Matt might be just pretty jacked up for that game. All right, so what do you guys have to think about it? Because when I was doing the live cast last night, it never once crossed my mind then, or when I rewatched the game today to do some film review, that, man, those Lions, those sneaky Lions, they might be wearing blue uniforms to mess with Matty's eye vision, apparently. I don't know. To me, that just seems like the most why crybaby stuff somebody called the ambulance or whatever, but it does appear his ego has taken a shot or been bruised by the fact he's lost to the Detroit Lions or Goff or whoever it may be. So let's see what you guys have to say about it. I thought this was incredibly shocking when I first seen it and read it. So it is what it is. Giovanni, woo, we'll go with that 100%, my friend. Good to see you. Paul, he's officially salty. Yeah, and I'd say he's officially in anything he's had with this franchise as far as, some sort of storied history, goodwill or whatever. Man, he's not just taking a match to that relationship. He's taking a flamethrower to that thing. I hope at some point, when he retires, because he had a heck of a run here. He did a lot of good things for the franchise, him and his family. But the more his wife seem to talk about Detroit, the Lions, etc., I'm just like, man, what the heck are you doing? But somebody needs to get him a PR department. Hatman, what is happening, Dan the Man? Woo! Well, Hatman, it sounds like Matty Stafford is not loving himself some Detroit Lions and apparently the uniform choices they had last night. Paul, hit that like. Yeah, if you could, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Trying to make a push to get to 7,800 subs, and we're like, I don't know, 20, 15, something like that away. Bo, greetings, Coach. Back at you, Bo. Hopefully I'm a good one. Jason, Matt, Stafford is butthurt. Yeah, I would say you're spot on with that, man. I didn't see this coming out of him. I mean, it's one thing to be a competitor. We've all watched him for over a decade in Detroit. We get the guy will play hurt. He'll run through a wall for his team. He'll do all that stuff. But, man, I mean, last night, let's be honest, he got knocked around pretty good. That ankle got rolled a few times. And nobody who's been a Lions fan, either when he was here or, now that he's with LA, thought that he would not play. But to come out and complain about uniform color choices, you're baiting me into some bad throws by playing in blue jerseys? Come on, man. I'd say Paul Stafford is such a whiny girl. It seems like he's come that way. Maybe you guys remember it, but I don't really remember him being that way when he was here in Detroit. So I don't know. It just reeks of emotion to me, embarrassment, ego, being bruised and all that. Man, that game yesterday was similar to the Chiefs game last year. I would agree with that. Very ssimilar. Christopher, James Earl Jones passed away. Yeah, I saw that like literally just a minute or two before I went on air. I yelled out the window at Jen about it. So he's a Michigan guy. He's from, I want to say, Ann Arbor area. And yeah, just historic career, historic, life. Thoughts and prayers for him and his family. Silver Server, rip. Yeah, 100%. Good guy all the way. I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say anything negative about James Earl Jones. It just seems like he's one of those type of rare people that everybody likes. See, Mr. Nico, I still like Stafford and don't take anything too personally as a fan. It's football and people talk. Stafford needs to move on. He got his ring. We're not his Lions anymore. Goff is our captain now. And Mr. Nico, I think that part where you put it's not his Lions anymore. I think there's a lot more truth to that than most of us realize. I think he is taking it somewhat personal that Goff, MCDC, St. Brown, whoever you want to throw in there into that mix, this current regime with the Detroit Lions, front office on down, could do something him and his regime, I guess you could say, or regimes, he had so many of them in Detroit, just never could get done, and I think he does take a little bit of a shot to his pride because of that. Johnny Mac, a real big win overall. It was, man. 1-0, and you know what? Just so you guys know, Tampa Bay, you could be 2-0 if you win that one, and their Antoine Winfield Jr. will not play that game. That came out about an hour or so ago. I'll talk about that more in the morning show. Bo, me thinks any rivalry is strictly one way. It could be. But you also know when him and the Rams, when you face them again, you're going to have to play your A game, because he's going to be jacked up, ready for that game. Mr. Nico, rip Mufasa, Darth Vader, 100%. Yeah, thoughts and prayers to the family. Johnny, can't be sour that we want to bear you every time. Yeah, beat you every time. I'll go with that. Michael, when the milk goes sour, you either make cheese butter or just throw it at throw it out. Stafford didn't see the vision of this new coaching staff and players. Chose to leave on his own free will. Yeah, and to be honest, his trade did a lot of good things for this franchise. And nothing but goodwill and wishes for him. But because he wanted to move on, and I get it, he's seen a lot of changes in Detroit. None of them apparently really went right under his time here in Detroit. So I get why he maybe didn't want to go through one more. See, Johnny, I love the way we won, even though we didn't have it all together. That game-winning drive was extremely impressive. Yeah, that drive, man, that is a masterclass. The one in overtime, that's a masterclass of just how to put a game away, how to beat a team down. I mean, I know Collinsworth and Mike Tirico talked about it. When I watched replay, I couldn't really hear them so much when I was doing the live, play-by-play calls. But they flat out said it. Those last 3 or 4 drives, the Rams just didn't have anything left. I was singing on the live cast. I'm not sure why Sean McVay wasn't calling a timeout because his dudes needed a rest. They were gassed, and he eventually did call it. But when Detroit's on like the half-yard line, I was like, man, what are you doing? They got nothing left emotionally nor physically at that point. All right, Paul, Joey Harrington was more likable than Stafford. I was glad when we traded him. Yeah, and to be honest, Joey Harrington, while he was not much of an NFL quarterback, I think most people did think he was generally a good person and great for the city of Detroit. Giovanni Lyons, I love Matthew Stafford. He's the best player on our team. Hey, he has gotten us some critical wins last year in the playoffs and then the start this year. And Cortez Goff is 4-0 against Stafford, and Pat Stafford needs to get over it really. Yeah, Pat Stafford, yeah, he needs to move on from it. It's unfortunate. Things didn't go better when you're here, but hey, that's all ancient history now. Paul, living in LA makes you soft. It might be, could be. Jonathan, hey, Dan, are we going to be in some trouble with a big receiver? In some ways, I think it actually favors us with the way our secondary is set up and the way, Baker Mayfield plays, plus Mike Evans, how he approaches the game. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Carlton Davis knows these guys as good as anyone. Of course, they know Carlton Davis pretty well, too. So we'll worry about that. We'll start working on the Tampa Bay game on tomorrow morning's show. Jason, he wishes he had our team. There's probably a lot of truth to that. James, both teams benefited from the trade. I would agree. Yeah, I think the Rams in the short term got what they needed out of it. The Lions in the long term probably got the better deal. Jason singing the blues, eating Hallelujah Blue, Superdome bust. Yeah, and that's probably where I'm at with Matt Stafford, man. He's just, again, somebody needs to pull him aside and just say, hey, you need to take a moment before you talk to the media about the Detroit Lions and that organization anymore because you are just doing yourself no good favors here. Somebody needs to be a friend and talk to him. Let's see, Eminem, you notice how many games were slipping on turf, how many players were slipping on turf in multiple different games? Yeah, there was across the league, and it wasn't just Ford Field. It was across the league. Some of these you have to talk to the equipment managers because something has obviously changed and needs to be corrected in a hurry. Broski, how delicate of Matt. He's upset about the color of the opposing team's uniforms. I mean, there are some teams that have incredibly similar uniforms, but I don't look at last night's matchups and going, wow, these uniforms are so close. It's going to make it, difficult for both quarterbacks because I just didn't see it, but maybe I'm just looking at it through different views, I guess, Broski. So who knows, man? Broski, guys, yeah, I knew where you were going with that, Eminem. I got you. Broski, for a quarterback who plays with such heart on the field, he sure does like to cry off the field. Matt Duckford, it is what it is, man, but he's not doing his legacy here any favors. Marcus, rip James Earl Jones, 100%, man. Great human being, great person. He really needs, to just get a nationwide shout out because let's be fair, in the last 50, 60 years, somewhere along there, he's one of the most iconic pop culture, whatever you want to say, actors of my generation, our generations, whoever. And yeah, he deserves all the praise he can get. And again, thoughts to him and his family. To his family, I should say. Manuel, he did no such thing. Hey, look at the reports. Sports Illustrated's got it out there, man. So he did apparently do it. And yeah, SI.com has the story on it. So feel free to read up on it, my friend. I'm not making this up. You can go to Sports Illustrated and read about it. See, Kurt, Goff lost to Stafford in 2021. Yeah, the first time they played. You're correct. See, yeah, in LA, even though the Lions surprisingly made it a pretty good game. Michael, remember just yesterday I mentioned Goff only needs 2 minutes or less to drive down on any field and score points. You did, and you did a great job with that. Southwest Line missed it. What did Stafford say? Complaining about the Lions using the blue uniforms to try to bait him into multiple interceptions or bad throws. I don't think he specifically said interceptions, but he did go out and say that, yeah, he thought they wore those uniforms. Let's see, Detroit Lions accused of using, quote, stealth tactics to force Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford to throw an interception. And yeah, that's the headline for it. So it's a couple different outlets they're reporting it. And you can see the video and read the quotes from Matty Stafford regarding that. Hatman Kurt Steele, yep, taking our thunder. He did, man. He's trying to steal it from us. Marcus, no, Darth Vader voice. Rep James Earl Jones. One heck of a life, though. So me, when somebody passes, I try to celebrate their life and all they've done. I try not to mourn their passing because, in my view, you're going to see them again someday. Blad TV, Rams, the ball, 1st and 10 with 3 minutes left in the fourth. Yeah, and I get being aggressive, not just trying to go 3 and out, trying to get first downs to end the game. Unfortunately for the Rams, it didn't go their way, and thankfully for the Lions, it did. Marcus, you listened to the press conference. He said nothing. So you're gonna have to go, Emmanuel, and check out the stories. You can see it all. Like I said, I've already given it to you. Let's see. Kurt Steele, Rip Darth Vader. Agreed. It's all media hype. Yeah, it could be, man. The Sports Illustrated, yeah, they're just trying to bait us all. So we'll see, man. Eminem, I see you on the Draft podcast, and I watch and listen to all those girls and guys. Fair enough. And that's good. That's good. Let's see, Bo, the voice of Vader lives forever. That it will, man. It is part of, basically the Star Wars franchise, and that franchise, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Darth Vader's voice, whether it's AI or somebody who trying to mimic it, hey, James Earl Jones, he's going to have a lasting impression forever. Hey, man, Jones' voice was the best ever. Made every woman weak in the knees, and probably some guys. Fair enough. Yeah, I just remember, Field of Dreams. I mean, among Star Wars stuff, but Field of Dreams, his presence in that movie. See, Anna and Nathan, what do you got? Dude talks too much. He's becoming Kelly. There are some similarities. You can't spell Kelly without TWOLS. Very, very good. Very good. Laughing out loud. Justin, someone called the ambulance. There you go. Yes, indeed. Make that call. Southwest Line. Oh my, sad. Agreed. Jason, Stafford is losing it. Him and his wife. You might be onto something there. Maybe they've grown into enjoying the spotlight and don't want anybody poking away and trying to take their spotlight away. Cordarian, what do you? I think it's media hype. It's got to be a joke. I hope it is, man, for his sake. But again, what you Google it and search it and come to your own conclusion. Justin, Nathan, laughing out loud. Good stuff, bro. Mike K, Mike K, aka Hutch Jr. What's up, fellas? What's up, Hutch Jr.? How you doing? Matthew Grace, greetings and salutations. Hutch Jr. still recovering from that game tailgates from 2 to 8. Makes for a long day. Well, hopefully you had a great time out there. Marcus, Lions waived Chris Smith. I did see that today. Does that mean Reader will play next week? It's probably a good indication that they're anticipating he would be. Otherwise, you're not going to waive him. But my anticipation is also Chris Smith's going to clear waivers and return to the Lions practice squad. So they seem to really like him. All right, Nathan, what do you got? Being a man is easy and hard. Shut the heck up. Never complain. No one wants to feel pity for a man. Yeah, especially I get maybe saying some of this stuff once upon a time, but I also get it's time to kind of move on from it. At some point, the rivalry between Goff, Stafford, the trade. I mean, the trade is almost 5 years old or 4 years old, whatever. It's maybe time to move on. I get you don't like losing to your former team, but also watch what you say, man. Let's see, Southwest Line in the first meeting, Stafford versus Goff. The Rams were a Super Bowl contender, and the Lions were one of the worst teams in the league. Last 2 games were more evenly matched. They were, and again, that game the Lions lost in LA. They actually played pretty dang well. I want to say we had the lead or just a couple points down starting the fourth quarter. Don't hold me to that, though. Let's see, Giovanni, rest in peace, King Joffrey Jor. There we'll go. Let's see, Hutch Jr. Yes, Reader is scheduled to play next week, barring setbacks. Michael, first I discovered James Earl Jones was in the Conan the Barbarian. He was the Snake. Yeah, and that's another great movie he was in. And that's one of my favorite books or characters is Conan the Barbarian, written by Robert E. Howard. All right, Southwest Land, God bless James Earl Jones. I'll go with that. Hardy, Manuel, not post game. It was this afternoon. Correct. Yeah, not yesterday. Let's see, Eminem, all that crying. What a baby gonna do? 100%. Marcus, Nakua placed on IR. Yeah, it sounds like he might have a high ankle sprain. So hopefully he heals up pretty quick. Because again, I don't want anybody getting hurt. If you have to miss a game or get injured in the game against us, great. But I don't want to see him be long term hurt. See, Dave, this is merely speculation, but I suspect Kelly has been subtly poisoning Matt's mind against Detroit and towards LA. That could be possible, man. I don't know one way or the other on that. See, Nathan, what do you got? Marcus, by putting Smith on the opening roster, his contract was guaranteed. I expect they will add him back to the practice squad. Yeah, agreed with that. See, already Detroit Lions accused of using stealth tactics to force Rams quarterback Matt Stafford to throw an interception. Correct. And they do go on to talk about the potential 4 other near interceptions he had. See, Mike Jr. Puka to the IR. Correct. Once Stafford retires, I'll cheer the hell out of the guy. Until then, I won't boo, but I'm not cheering the guy. Fair enough. See, Red Screech, MSN, you got to stop the drama farming. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see. Jay Daz, the Stafford was right to take him to the playoffs win, 100%. All right, Dr. Troy, he got that Jordan leg, all right. Southwest Lions have worn all the blue uniforms before. This is not just for staff. There you go. And I agree. I don't think it was intentionally done to do anything, but I could be wrong. Let's see, Dr. Detroit, I boo Kelly and her kids. He. Very good. Let's see, Anthony, booed them kids, 100%. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, get back to work. If there is some sort of breaking news, I'll go ahead and get it over to you. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your day. Do something kind for someone you don't know. Help someone in need, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. If you would be so kind, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We're doing a fundraiser this week from the day before last week's game or last night's game until the end of next week's game. Every sub we get, we donate $1 to charity. Take care. See you on the next Lions Talk Live.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.